Hello. In this tutorial, you will learn how to use the Nummax Manager Standard software. This software is used to control the content displayed on your Nummax kiosk and to add interactivity. It can be accessed online from any computer connected to the internet. To begin, log on to nummaxmanager.com with your login information provided by Nummax. In the Principal Content menu, click on the name of the equipment in which you want to broadcast your content. This will take you to the software's main page. Broadcasting content to the kiosk can be done in 3 steps. First, upload your images, videos and web links to the software's library to be used for the kiosk's interactivity. Then create a broadcasting playlist of sequences containing your media. Finally, all that's left to do is publish your broadcasting playlist and its programming in your kiosk. Let's start by uploading your images and videos into the software. In the top menu, click on Libraries, Media Library, then click on Add at the bottom. Nummax Manager Standard is not a graphic design software. Your content, images, and videos must be prepared before uploading them to the software. First, choose the type of media you wish to upload. For videos, only MP4, AVI, and WMV formats are accepted. The HTML type allows you to upload compiled content in the form of a local HTML page. This is an advanced feature, detailed in our documentation. For the web type, you can enter a URL address and the software will take a screenshot of the website, which will be updated each time it is displayed. For images, JPEG and PNG formats are accepted. When you upload your media, you'll need to give your file a name and description. Set the length of time you want the media to be displayed for. This can be changed later. Keep the 2 boxes checked to make the media available to your kiosk. Finally, the multi option allows you to upload several images at the same time. To finish, click on Add, then on OK. Your content will be uploaded and stored in your library. If you want to display interactive content, you must first store the URL links you plan to use in your library. In the top menu, click on Libraries, Links Library, then at the bottom, click on the Add a Link button. In the alias field, give your link a name. Enter the web link address, which usually begins with www. Select the HTTP or HTTPS protocol. The HTTP and HTTPS protocols depend on the security of the site. To find out the protocol of your web link, display this address in a browser and see if a closed padlock appears to the left of the URL. If the site is secured by a closed padlock, then the protocol is HTTPS. Finally, save your link by clicking OK, then OK again. After uploading your media, we can then create a list of sequences containing your media to be displayed in your kiosk. Click on Broadcasting in the menu. To create a sequence, you must first choose a layout. By default, the Layout 1 allows you to display media that fills the entire screen. Layouts allow you to divide your kiosk screen into several zones to display different media. Here, we're going to use a layout that allows you to display 3 media at once. It's important to understand that your media must be scaled to fit the areas of your screen. Then click on Add a Sequence. You'll then see the sequence interface, which lets you assign media to each slot in your layout. The library will display a thumbnail of your recently added images and videos. When uploaded, your media will display a camera for videos and a sunset for images. This is temporary, and the software should display the real images after a period of 24 hours, so it's best to rely on the names you gave them. In the sequence area, select media from the primary library at the bottom of your screen, then click in the box where you want the media to appear. In this example, the media will be displayed on a kiosk with a resolution of 1080 by 1920 pixels. The top area is divided into 2 slots, each with 540 by 960 pixels, which is equivalent to a quarter of the resolution. The bottom area contains a single slot corresponding to half the screen, or 1080 by 960 pixels. It's important to make sure your media is sized appropriately for the areas they will cover on your kiosk. If your media is a video, check the Active Volume box if you want the sound of the video to be played through the Kiosk's audio system. Finally, click on Save to create the sequence. You can create as many sequences as you like. If you have a lot of sequences in your broadcasting playlist, you can change the display to a list. At the bottom of the screen are two Save buttons. The first, Save Temporarily, will save your broadcasting playlist only in the software, but will not be displayed in the kiosk. This will allow you to come back to your schedule at a later date. On the other hand, Save to Server saves your sequences in the software and publishes them in your kiosk. Depending on the configuration of your equipment, it can take up to 5 minutes for your kiosk to start broadcasting your content. Now that you know how to display content in your interactive kiosk, let's move on to some more advanced features. With the Nummax Manager standard software, you can schedule each sequence to be displayed at a specific date or time. This feature is very useful if you have an advertisement that needs to be displayed on a specific date, a given period, or even a specific day of the week. To add a schedule to a sequence, simply click on the Timelines button for your sequence. Note that a sequence can have several schedules, which can be useful for displaying content at different times and on certain days of the week. Click on Add a Timeline and enter the information. In this example, we're going to add a schedule that will broadcast our sequence we've just created so that it's displayed from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day of the week. Confirm by clicking on Save. You can always modify or delete a schedule by selecting it in the list and using the buttons at the bottom to edit or delete it. When you return to your broadcasting playlist, your sequence will appear with a green banner to indicate that it has been scheduled to show over a certain period of time. When the deadline has expired, if you have specified an ending date, the banner will turn red, and the sequence will no longer be displayed. You can safely delete it by clicking on the cross. Now, we're going to modify a sequence. In this example, the sequence has an expired schedule. Let's change it so that it becomes the only content shown on Thursdays. First, click on Timelines, select its schedule, then click on Modify. We're going to remove the start and end dates, as we want the sequence to be shown every Thursday. Deselect all days of the week, excluding Thursday, then click Save. Back in the broadcasting playlist, our sequence now displays with a green banner showing that the schedule is active. We now want it to be the only content displayed on Thursdays. Click on Modify Sequence and check Priority on the right, then Save. Priority sequences appear with a yellow banner. They will be the only content displayed in your kiosk according to their schedule. There are two important things to remember about priority sequences. First of all, if you have a priority sequence with no schedule, it will be displayed permanently and override the rest of the non-priority content. Secondly, if you have more than one priority sequence, they will be shown alternately. In this example, the sequence 1 will be displayed, and will alternate with sequence 2 according to its schedule, which is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. For Thursdays, only our sequence number 3 will be displayed. Now imagine that we want to alternately display two images in our kiosk. One remains the same and the other changes each time. But we don't want to create multiple sequences. To do so, we can use the Pick List function, which will allow us to alternate the content that will be displayed from a list. Click on Pick List, and add a pick list. In the library, select the first image and click in the film roll to add it. You can add as many media as you like, just click on the Add Media button to add more. Here, we have 5 images called Selection 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you've added your images, give your list a name. And save. This pick list can now be added as media in a sequence. Select your layout and add a sequence. Now look for your pick list in the library, which should look like a list symbol. Save. Save this new schedule to the server to publish it in the kiosk. Here's how it works. We currently have 4 sequences. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., our broadcast will start with sequence 1, followed by sequence 2, and then it will display the first image in the list of sequence 4. Then the broadcast will start again with sequence 1, 2, and then the second image in the list, and so on. When the broadcast is outside from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., sequence 2 will then no longer be displayed. As for Thursday, only sequence 3, which has priority, will be displayed continuously. Now let's see how to make our content interactive. On sequence 2 of our broadcast playlist, click on the touch icon represented by a finger touching a blue rectangle. If the icon is not visible, please contact Nummax to activate this feature. Interactivity uses the URLs you've saved in your link library, as we saw in the first part of this tutorial. You can assign a link to each area of your sequence. This link will be triggered when a user taps the area on the kiosk. We're only going to assign the previously saved link to the bottom area of the sequence. Now click on Save, and don't forget to save to the server so that your changes are applied in your kiosk. When a user touches the kiosk's interactive zone, it will open the web link address on the entire screen, and it will then be possible to navigate the web page. At the bottom of the kiosk screen, a clickable yellow banner appears, allowing you to return to the home page, or to the playlist. If the kiosk detects no activity for 1 minute, the system returns to broadcasting your sequences. If you wish to restrict web browsing to your site only, Nummax can create and implement a list of authorized domains. Contact our technical department for this feature. Congratulations, you now know how to use Nummax Manager Standard. We've seen how to upload media to the library, create a playlist of sequences, publish your content to your kiosk, add a schedule to a sequence and set a priority sequence, create a pick list, and finally add interactivity to your kiosk. You can consult the software documentation at any time from the Resources Downloads section of our website. If you have any technical questions, don't hesitate to contact Nummax at 1-877-255-3471 extension 205, or by email at service@nummax.com. Thank you for watching this video.